to thank you for the opportunity to come here, because it kind of pushed me to finish my booklet. I tried to give everybody my booklet with 7 chapters, but if somebody for whatever reason didn't get it, I will be willing to give this to you. I finished it on the eve of my departure back to Russia through the Western Europe. Jim Fashion, oh, you appeared. He was christened honorary European. He also gave a keynote speech last year in Vadstena, in Sweden. I am sure that his views he expressed today are still fresh in your memory. He points out competency and mastery. These points are well taken, especially to publish less, but of course high quality. I just want to add that one of the modern Russian heavyweights, and Anthony can confirm, coined such a phrase. In modern Russia, we do have a lot of great poems, but we don't have an outstanding poem. So now I want to diminish Jim in a way like there is a Dominique de Villepin in France. He is a poet, and a little bit on the side, he was a Prime Minister of France and Minister for Foreign Affairs, and he said, "Don't praise me. If you praise me, you diminish me. But if you criticize me, then I can grow." So I want to diminish a little Jim, because I want to praise him, because from all haiku poets, I think Jim can, we give him more time, he is a young man, and he can go to become a great haiku poet of the West. We all hope so. But at this point, the situation is like we have a good of haikus, but not many outstanding poets in different countries, haiku poets in different countries. So, we also must know that all Russian, for instance, I give example of course about Russia. All Russian literature is a transplant, and it's not. Russians did not invent any genre they're using now. Almost zero. All is transplant. And however, the Russian classic writers managed to wean themselves from the mother culture of the Germanic West, and create a very strong and lasting work, so strong that it was translated to many tongues in Europe. Now we see a similar process in taking a transplanted genre of haiku from the Japanese, researching, developing it, and even teach Japanese how to write haiku. This meeting is being done in Vadstena, and in Vadstena 3 years ago in Sweden, we had a Japanese person, but here, no Japanese people. So this meeting is being done without Japanese participation, and done well. But so we are successfully, like Russian literature, which took concepts of novels and sonnets and rhyme poetry. Everything was taken into the system of the Russian language from other tongues, and it was successful. So we can count that this attempt also will be successful. But we are supposed to talk about humor. Here is a humorous situation. Haikus which were rejected, Jim mentioned, he trumpeted the rejected haiku from this podium. And my haiku, which I wrote a couple of days ago after the boat trip, touching water, a willow branch signs up with the wind, does not sound in English because it was rejected by native English speakers. It points me to the notion, brings me to the notion that the native tongue is imperative for a poet. Yeah. Even our Nobel Prize winner, Joseph Brodsky, failed in his attempts to write in English. He wrote very successfully, but he blessed me to write haiku. He said to me that, okay, it's so small, maybe if you write 100, so maybe a couple of them will go to English speakers' ears, and he was right. So I continued to do it. So I penned another one, like Jim said about baker's hand. So I wrote like that, but I didn't submit it yesterday. Bridge underbelly, above our silent boat, ripples of light. Again, if I'm not sure that in the system of English it kind of good haiku, but it's easier for me to be, as I said in the morning, my own editor if I write in Russian. So we are kind of sentenced to be in our native tongue. So please, when you write or read or even speak, I speak now in Ranglish, write this booklet also in Ranglish. So please consult or even attempt to hire a translator. Don't attempt major work in English. I know that it's prevailing tongue and everybody wants, like the Balkans want to be published in English, but please don't do it because it doesn't bring good results. So I present this compilation with haiku overview, and this booklet consists of 7 chapters. 7 chapters which I quickly read. It's about high-tech haiku, which was kind of a banner of meeting in Sweden. Haiku-like images in mainstream poetry. Many people, I didn't realize it, but long before me, people kind of reading the haiku with reading the texts which are familiar from our school education with haiku eyes, which we kind of acquire after some practice. So then a couple of chapters on human haiku, then about such a fashionable thing as haiku fractals, when you can compile haiku from different parts you may read. And then about Russian, some small window into Russian haiku, and a little overview of the Middle Eastern haiku. I also think that we have to have cheap books. Very important that the books should be cheap or even no cost if we want to be, like Jim advises us to be, this whole thing like haiku ambassadors, to bring to people haiku in different corners of the world. And we also, I already mentioned, should read our native literature, and it's good. I guess that people who are successful in haiku were good readers of their native literatures when they were at school. It's very important to know what was done before, and then apply this haiku method. And we should make humorous haiku. Why? Because they're winners at wide audiences. Audiences cannot, if you torture them with chassé, That's why people go to all kinds of things. They include music. They I was doing some singing in between haiku back in Russia, because it's impossible to get haiku after haiku. People cannot take it. But if you do humorous haiku, it may fly. It should be, of course, audience geared. For instance, Jim gave us this book, small book in the morning, and he knows this secret because the first haiku in his book is a humorous haiku, but it has a kind of a Japanese coquet humor, kind of innuendo humor. We can say like, his haiku is like that. Spring breeze, the dog runs in its sleep. It immediately gives me another haiku of Jerry Paul in California. I already mentioned it to some people here. And it's in my booklet. An old dog, he seems to know the length of his leash. So both haiku have innuendo. That's why hack writers, I call them hack writers, or haiku hakerati, they know this secret, and they churn with the major publishing houses which work for profit. They churn books which are always attempt in each haiku in humor. Even the names sounds like a humorous poetry. Morning haiku, straight up haiku, haiku on your shoe, don't step on the sky, haiku baby, the cuckoo's haiku, cat haiku, Hanukkah haiku, haiku for poker players, hipster haiku, haiku for Catholics. They need one, haiku two, it's not the end. Let's say 40, it's about more than 40 books I counted, but probably there are more. Jim mentioned 101 corporate haiku. There is also office haiku, haiku for chocolate lovers, zombie haiku, chocolate made zombie, pirate haiku, werewolf haiku, redneck haiku, haikus for Jews, erotic haiku, gay haiku, even vampire haikus you can find in this booklet, pregnancy haiku, and horseku. And horseku is from about horses, and honking. You can find in this booklet too. So again, I return to Vatstena because there is a connection between us. And we had, as I mentioned, one Japanese guy there, and he probably observed. His name is Tadashi Shokan Kondo. And he observed this haiku in the West, and he started to say in his speech, "Don't write so many haiku, write renku." But why renku? When I tried to write renku, I attempted it in Russian. Only one editor in Moscow agreed to publish, because renku is also tedious. It's very difficult to write good renku. Even if you look at the renku which are prized by the Haiku Society of America, they're on internet, Ain Bond renku contest. It's only good in some parts. It's very uneven because many authors. It's it's more success with solo renku, and poetry. It's kind of requires solitude. Because that's why I write here that I, in a way, I don't reject entirely Tadashi, but instead of it, I suggest to write humorous haibun. Haibun is the way to go. Short, there are short, you can do super short Haiku, even long Haiku, but it should be a Haiku. I think Haiku is a way to go. Then, if you write engaging, humorous Haiku, you can give people some haiku, some serious haiku within the content, but it's very difficult to do. That's why if I open, for instance, I opened the latest Frog Pond, and they have Frog Pond. It's one of the major haiku magazines of America and probably of the world. 40 haiku there, or haikus, or haiku, you decide how to say. And from these haikus, only maybe 1.5 of haiku have some humorous content. Others is kind of personal diaries, lamentations, like description, travel prose. No, this kind of thing won't fly. So, only if we attempt to make a good humorous haiku, then we can intersperse this haiku, luckily with also humorous haiku scenario, or we can put our very serious haiku within a humorous context. It's very difficult to do, but it's possible. It also correlates with what Ion Cadrescu said several times, but I want to strengthen his message. If it's a bird on your drawing, never haiku should be about bird, or vice versa. If haiku is about an apple, never an apple should appear in haiku, in the image. So find another way. Same with haiku. Many people in haiku, their haiku continue kind of the text or the contents of haiku. No, the haikus in haiku should be connected in other ways, which I tried to touch upon in this booklet. But
it's like link and shift.
Yeah, you can employ this thing. But your student, Sonia Coman, which is now at Harvard University, she did the unthinkable. If there is a kind of goose or swan on the haiku at Harvard University, they had a major display. So the haiku and image are the same. No,
because people
she didn't get the message.
This way to do the same thing. Haiku speaks about they want to be the same bird.
Yeah.
In the image.
Yeah. Okay, so we must show another way how to do it, and it's very good because it will make us to write less and probably more appealing to reading classes. I tried in this booklet to show some algorithm of it's possible to strive for humor in haiku. It's possible. So there are some algorithm. If you read poetry, for instance, I gave the Soviet poet Evgeny Yevtushenko how he recently, I met him recently, he does this, he kind of employs the same technique. He takes something and flips it over in his poetry. So this same thing is possible to do even in 3 lines. It's possible, and it's even more possible if you have text of haiku. Okay. I think for the brevity, I have to finish, and I won't give you any examples because they're here, and but I welcome your questions.